women founders tend to have more difficulty raising money.
Yeah.
And I know there are people who are working really hard to change that. Did you find any difficulty? I mean, yes, you have 2 male co-founders. However,
Yeah.
you know, you're at the head of the table as CEO.
I am.
So did you have any trouble as a woman, and secondarily as a woman of color?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I do have 2 male co-founders, but my male co-founders are both, persons of color as well.
Right.
And so, you know, the statistics are statistics, right? Like,
Yes.
you know, one, people of color get a disproportionate amount of VC funding, right?
Right.
So I already had that flag on me.
Mhm.
And then women get a
that's why I
disproportionate
asked.
amount of VC funding. And so
Right.
I'm like a minority within a minority, right?
Right. Of course.
And so it's hard. And the statistics are there, but and so to answer your question very succinctly, yes, it was, I went into it knowing that it would be an uphill battle because the statistics are what the statistics are.
Mhm.
I did, and I always have to be honest about this, luck out with how I entered into the VC journey, because and I say the collective we whenever I'm like,
Right.
like what Kyle and Emil did something, I'm like, we did it. But Kyle actually filled out a form for Lolita Taub that was a connector, right? It connected your startup to a VC that made sense for you, right?
Yeah,
The
love it.
purpose was so that your startup could like get advice and, you know, talk to an investor that was aligned with kind of where you were going. And so that's how we ended up connecting with the Artemis Fund, who is a female focused VC, right? Shout out to the Artemis Fund. I love you guys. Gals, actually. And that call that I thought was just a mentorship call was actually a hardcore investment call led by Diana. And I thought I bombed it. I thought I did horrible because I came into it relaxed. You know, I wasn't ready to talk about the numbers. I was just kind of like, I was ready to talk about our company and get advice. But it was, I early on realized what type of call it really was. She really understood where we were going as a company, introduced us to her other GPs, and they became our lead investor. And then they introduced us to Valor. Hi, Lisa. Love her as well, who co-led our first seed round. And so I always think about success is when, being ready just meets opportunity, right? There's always a little bit of luck. I personally think for, persons of color, when the road is a little easier than what you were predicting. But we had the traction, we had a great business model, we build all our technology in-house. And we found funds that were interested in our type of business led by people that look like us, right?
That's fantastic.
Women, minorities, etc. And we got lucky, but yeah, it was hard because before that call, I got a lot of no's, right? There weren't a lot of people that looked like me on the other side of the Zoom chat.
That's right. They're all a bunch of white guys primarily, I'm sure.
But even in those cases, I will say I learned some of the best pitching skills from failing in those instances, right? They asked some of the hardest questions and it made me tough, and it made me understand, like, okay, next time I get this question, I'm going to answer it well.
That's right.
Next time I see this, I'm going to answer it well. So the no's made me tougher. And I was really thankful for the people that were on the other end of the Zoom call. They were always respectful to me, right? And they were like, no. But when I said no, I'm like, okay, great. But can you tell me why? Right? I was never too shy about that. Like, why are you telling me no? What was it missing? And it made me ready for that.
That's right.
For that, luck call with Diana. And the environment still is hard. People think once you raise money that it gets easier.
Yes.
No, right? You only have more to prove, more to show, and nobody cares that it's harder for you, right? No one. There are people that are working on this. There are funds that are focused on this, and they're all valuable and they're doing amazing things, but plans take time to come to fruition. So a lot of these things that have been put into play are going to take years to really move the needle in the way that we're looking for it to move. And so in the meantime, women founders, we can't be unnerved by the statistics, right? You got to go out there. You got to get it. You got to understand that nobody cares and that you're going to get told no. And every time you get told no, ask them why and make it better for the next one, because the right people are going to say yes and you're going to succeed.
That's right.
And guess what? Women, we're out there doing outsized returns. We're killing it. Investing in us is proving time and time again to be the best bet. And I believe that VCs are getting it and they're understanding it. And we're, slowly but surely gonna get the statistics on our side. And so I'm just out here trying to do my part in that. And I stay focused and I stay positive. And everybody I meet, I meet with respect, and I always respect a no, and I love a yes. When anybody who tells me yes, I'm like, don't worry, I got you. We're gonna we're gonna make it happen.
That's right. Ask any salesperson in the world. There's every no you get you closer to a yes.
Absolutely.
Carol Schultz here. Thanks for watching this excerpt from Authentically Successful. The conversation doesn't end there. So if you want to hear this episode in full and all my conversations with many other successful founders and CEOs, please visit verticalelevation.com/podcast.